2 peas in a bong. 2 peas in a bong. 2 peas in a bong.
2 peas and a bong. 2 peas and a bong. 2 peas
in a bong.
What's up, y'all? 2 peas in a bong in the building again. It's your boy DP.
And it's your boy KP.
And Bong will possibly be on, but maybe in the chat as well. So we in the building again, y'all. They out here, no Bong. Man, was I wrong? Was it Scotty Boy who asked me what my call was on this game before we got on? And it's your boy Bong for sure. Bong is in the chat. I think Bong was the only one who said OKC was going to win today, right?
Yeah, definitely wasn't me.
Yeah, I think I said Minnesota too. I was feeling OKC, but then I said, fuck it. I think Minnesota would come in and snatch one. Just based off of the way they started game one.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they would start that way again and then just kind of find a way to sustain it. But I was wrong.
You ain't the only one, brother. You ain't the only one.
They're in trouble, man. They're in trouble. Hey, look, Al Sucks at Mock Draft said he was saying the Wolves would take it. I thought Julius would keep playing well. Man, that was a big part of the demise in this game. They got to find a way. First, they got to find a way to do a few things, but one of them is get Randall and Anthony Edwards going in the same game and do that consistently.
Early. Yeah.
Early. Because they started off with Randall in the first game. And even last series, remember last series I was telling you they seem like they play off of Julius Randle. And then Anthony Edwards picks his spots and, does what he does. It's crazy to think that you're not just automatically going through Anthony Edwards first. But they were going through Randle. It was effective, but I don't know, man. Edwards has to keep attacking the basket like he did in the second half. Got to attack the basket. And Randle, this was just a bad game, but he also needs to attack the basket. They got to get one of those bigs, at least one of those bigs from OKC in foul trouble. They have to, because then that will make OKC have to change up the lineup, and then Minnesota could possibly get the upper hand. Gobert has disappeared. Were you about to say something?
I was gonna say, I'll narrow it down. It's not any big man or one of the two big men. You gotta get Chet Holmgren.
Gotta get Chet out of there.
Yes.
Gotta get Chet out of there.
Because of his versatility.
Yeah.
Because he can beat you in the inside or he can beat you on the outside.
Okay. I agree. And look at this. So this reminds me of something I was gonna say. So they got to find a way to get Dante DiVincenzo off the court.
Not on the
off
court.
The fucking court.
Off the court.
Listen, though. Listen. Hey, Al Sucks at Mock Drafts. If you go back and look at like some of the fast breaks and also like some of the baskets that Holmgren was scoring inside. Look at who the only one is, who's back there challenging him.
Yeah.
It's DiVincenzo.
Yeah.
Out of everybody. Gobert. Why the fuck is DiVincenzo getting back on the break and trying to stop a lob to Holmgren? Why the fuck is the ball going in the post and you got Nas Reed there, but DiVincenzo's the only one jumping up trying to block the shot? Like, at least he
That's
out there
that
showing some
that
heart.
that's that Villanova, the Villanova Wildcat, Villanova Knicks type stuff that DiVincenzo brings over to the Timberwolves. It's that toughness.
Right.
That's what you want. He hasn't put together a good game in this series, but I would expect more from Nas Reed. Nas Reed was your sixth man of the year.
Right.
Nas Reed hasn't hit a three-pointer in this series. He's 0 for 12.
Yeah.
Like, when is the last time you hit a three, brother? I don't think he hit a three in the last game against the Minnesota Timberwolves. In
Yeah.
the last game, they wanted he was 0 for 3.
Well, they are
He's
the
0
Minnesota
for
Timberwolves.
15. I mean, excuse me, Golden State Warriors. Yeah. He's 0
Probably
for
missing them in
15
practice too, though, baby. So I'll give you that.
in his last threes. Like, his last 3-point shots. Like, that's not going to get it done.
Nah, yeah, it's carried over. He just hasn't found his rhythm in the playoffs yet, man. They need him to.
Yeah.
McDaniels had a cool game,
He did. He was frustrated, though. You could see the frustration, some of the fouls that he took on SGA, flopping SGA.
Oh God.
the free throw merchant, as they're starting to call him, and that name is starting to pick up steam. But I had a
The free
breakdown of
throw
this game
merchant.
too, man. I see your comment, Bong. I don't want you to feel like you being ignored, man. I see your comment. It was effective when you don't have to worry about Steph dropping 40 on the other end. Are you talking about the Minnesota Timberwolves play style? Are you talking about DiVincenzo's hustle? Can you expound a little bit more on what you're saying? Well, I'm gonna be like, man, F that, I'm gonna expound. And you're gonna see him pop up real quick.
Right.
Like, I'm expounding. I got you. But as you're saying that though, Bong, let me see.
He said
Are
Nas
you
been buns the whole playoffs. He probably lost himself like $10 million on this upcoming contract. Yep, because he is up for a new contract. So
they need him though.
they do.
They
I'm not saying
need
they
him.
don't. They're
Yeah.
better when he's playing well. That's why I say they need him to come through.
Oh, okay. And Bong expounded on what he was saying. He's like DP's comment, playing through Randall. I mean, the matchups are different. Randall had Draymond Green guarding him. And no disrespect to Draymond Green, but he cooked Draymond Green, and that was like one of the first times in a long time that Draymond was consistently getting cooked game in and game out by the same offensive player. So
Hey,
you could do that.
why
And it's going to happen.
if you're going to throw Caruso on him, why not go to him?
Here's the difference, though, DP, when they're throwing Caruso on him. I was discussing this earlier.
They're running somebody else to him.
Not even just that. The referees are allowing Caruso to push a little bit more excessive, play a little bit more physical, and not get called for fouls because it's a smaller player, on a bigger player. Caruso did the same thing with Jokic.
Right.
He was holding, grabbing, excessive pushing.
But they're running that out like this is the solution. You see that, right?
Yeah, but
I'm saying
Minnesota
should see they're running him out there like it's the solution.
Yeah. So I'm just saying though, the referee, if you're gonna call some of these fouls for SGA, you gotta call some of these fouls on the other end on Caruso when he's holding and he's excessively beating up these bigger players. You
Dog.
can't it can't be, you can't have it both ways.
I feel you. on that's as far as the referees, and I'm not disagreeing with you
Yeah.
there. I'm saying though, you still have to go attack that matchup.
Yes.
If you think you about as Julius Randle, I'm saying if you think you about to roll Caruso out here and he's gonna stop me, that's not happening.
You're gonna have to
Like
bring another.
you have to.
And
You have
another
to.
one.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're aggressively so then the way I would switch it is I'd stop taking Randall up to the 3 or free throw line extended. I'd start him on the block. If you're gonna bring Caruso, if you're gonna have Caruso guard him, I'd start him on the block, and
The-
then that's when I would have Edwards operating more freely and attacking the basket.
but I think the problem would be is if you start Randall in the block, now you're just gonna put Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren on him. And
If I'm saying if you have Caruso on him, I'm starting him on the block. If you leave Caruso on him, that's where I'm starting him. I'm not gonna let's stop coming out to the 3 and turning and
yeah,
squaring up on him. No, start
yeah.
there. If you catch it there and they're bringing a double, then you're gonna force them to bring a double. Then that has to open up a skip pass to a Nas Reed or a drop down
He's
to a
gotta be
cutting Anthony Edwards.
he's gotta be willing to make the skip. He'll make the
Okay,
cut. He'll make the
okay,
cutting pass because it's Anthony Edwards. But Julius Randle isn't always making the skip.
okay. He's not
And in some instances you like, and I get what you're saying, but you also have to know your personnel, and sometimes you just have to simplify it for certain players. I think Julius Randle is one of those guys that you just have to simplify it for. Like, look, man, you got this or you got this. It's one or the other. When you start giving him 3 and 4, he's not going to do that.
okay. Then simplify it. Then you take his ass in the post, you score, or you kick it up to Anthony Edwards. Like,
What?
I mean, come on. He's at some point I get what you're saying. And okay, yes, sometimes it seems like he makes it harder than it has to be. But if he's your number 2 guy and you're counting on him, dog, you gotta make the plays. We can't have excuses. You're in the Western Conference Finals. Make the pass, make the play. Do something.
Yeah.
Or get the bucket. My point is y'all have to put some pressure on these dudes. You got to make them do something. Make them make a decision. Make them foul. Like Anthony Edwards being more aggressive in the second half, dog. You're the superstar. You're gonna start getting the calls. Like,
And
go at him.
and part of the reason that Julius is standing at the 3-point line is he's had success shooting the 3-pointer.
Yeah,
And that's where it becomes fool's gold,
right.
because it's like you're not going to hit the 3 every game.
Yeah, ask
And
Boston about that shit.
you
They at the
can't ask
crib
him.
with us.
No,
Oh no,
they're
we
not
can
at the
ask
crib.
him. No, we can ask
They out the
every single
country.
one of them.
They're out the country right now. We're not going to be able to get a hold of them. The only person that's at the crib is Tatum, because he can't go nowhere. He got to recover.
Yeah.
But I do get what you're saying. And when I was watching the game, I had a breakdown. Sapase,
Ah,
Scotty boy.
did you put some money on Julius Randle, Scotty boy? You bet some of them laundromat quarters on him. Oh,
Man,
Chris
this
Darter said
dude, Chris Carter.
he jumping in here talking about watch Boston win it next year. I don't
Come
think
on,
so.
Chris. Nah,
No,
Chris.
with no Jason Tatum. Nah, probably not.
So I did have a summary, like a little breakdown of the game, man. And these were kind of my thoughts. So, OKC was riding high. I didn't factor in the emotions that they were going to be feeling when SGA got presented with that trophy. The emotion was riding high. Adam
Chris
Silver's in
Paul
the
was in the
building.
building. Sitting by his wife.
But I'm looking at the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it even when it seemed close, in retrospect, it was never really close. Like Minnesota, every time Minnesota had the lead, OKC scored on the very next possession to take the lead back. So Minnesota never had a lead for more than one possession.
Mm-hmm.
Never. Their last lead was in the second quarter. And that was with 8:38 left to play in the second quarter. It was 37-38.
Mm-hmm.
And even at that point, OKC went down very next possession. They took the lead back. And then Anthony Edwards tied the game at 45 with 4 minutes and 34 seconds left. And that's the last time that the game was tied.
Right.
And
then you let them extend the lead at the end of the half.
Yeah.
Like, what do you go from 4 to 8?
Yes.
Yeah.
Then then the turning point of the game was in the third quarter. It's a 2-possession game. It's 70-64. Lou Dort gets a steal. Shea, gets a 10-foot floater and one. Score goes 73-64. And at that point, right after that, the lead stretched to 23 points by the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, what are we
So you're talking a 2-possession game, a turnover by Julius Randle, an and one turns into 9, and then it's out of reach at that point.
Yeah.
Then Nickeil Alexander-Walker, he was helping somebody's parlays because he had an 11-point fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Edwards poured in 8. It was too little, too late.
Yeah,
Jaden McDaniels, I think he poured in 7. It was too little, too late.
That one left hand finish when Edwards went into,
nice.
That was nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Acrobatic.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah.
Hey, and then that when he almost stole the ball and then recovered and blocked SGA.
Nasty.
Whew.
Nasty. That was a frustration block.
It was, because he could have just caught that in the air. Like, nigga, why are you spiking it like the volleyball? Like, just catch it.
Frustration. Yeah. He was angry about that.
Right.
But you look at the attack from OKC, SGA with 38, 8 assists, J-Dub with 26, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, Chet with 22 points, Lou Dort with 9 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. It's going to be extremely difficult to beat them when everybody's putting in points like that.
Man, they have the best. SGA has the best supporting cast. We keep going back to that. Remember, I said it was them and Boston. Like, their team, they're the deepest team. And you talk about who? We were talking about the Pacers play 10, right?
Yeah.
They play 10. OKC
yes,
plays
they do.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah. They play 10.
I mean,
Williams doesn't get as much time, but they 9 to 10.
Jay Will.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they fluctuate between Isaiah Joe and
Wallace.
Aaron Wiggins.
Oh yeah.
Aaron Wiggins.
Yeah, Wiggins.
Because Isaiah Joe didn't play in the last series with Denver. He didn't play that much. But then they made it a point to play him more in this series, but Aaron Wiggins is like odd man out.
And
I'll verify the minutes tonight, just so I'm making sure. Yeah, okay. So Isaiah Joe was the odd man out tonight because he played 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
And Aaron Wiggins played closer to 10 minutes. But in the first game, Isaiah Joe played more minutes than Aaron Wiggins. And I think they're doing that to throw the bets off, man. They're doing that to throw the parlays off. Like, you thought we were playing Isaiah Joe today, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're going with Aaron Williams.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And Chris Daughter, I
Yeah.
see your jokes, man. I see you
What'd he
cracking jokes.
say? Oh, the
You ain't
Fred
about to
Sanford.
Yeah, you ain't about to make me lose my train of thought, man. So I see your jokes. I want you to know
he
I see what
said
you're doing.
he said Celtics Lakers next season fixes in as usual after he's coming. No way. Celtics ain't doing nothing. Tatum's not playing next year. This is they'll be middle of the pack playoffs, and they may get bounced in the first round, depending on who they
So
get matched up against.
so my question to you, DP, is now that we've seen 2 games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is the series over?
I'm leaning to the side of yes, it is. Um,
Damn.
if Minnesota wins the next game, I could see them tying it at home. If they lose, it's a wrap. But I'm on the
And
side of look, we thought they were gonna come out with some fire and all of that stuff. Maybe being home, you said you didn't factor in the emotions.
yes.
You know, let's factor in the emotions for Minnesota's first game at the crib, and maybe that kind of gives them more of a boost. But at this point, it's like they have to make some schematic changes. What's good, FYF in the building.
What's
Um,
good, man? What's good?
yeah, they have to, like I say, they have to change the way they're attacking Minnesota's. Attacking OKC's defense. Like what they're doing is not working, and especially when you're relying on perimeter and a perimeter attack, like you got to
Yeah.
change that. The best thing that could even up some shit or change the game is just making it a hard fight, taking it down in the paint, drawing some fouls, playing scrappy. Then maybe you start getting a rhythm and hitting shots. Like you were saying, KP, what do shooters do, or even scorers? What do they do when they're not making shots?
I go to the basket, man.
And get to the what?
The free throw line. You
And
got to
when
force the referee to blow that whistle.
what can happen when you start knocking down a couple shots?
Oh, when you see the ball going in from the free throw line, the basket starts to get bigger. Now it starts to look like an ocean, and you're throwing a pea in an ocean. It's target practice, baby. Come
Yeah.
on.
I mean, just something to get your stride. You know what I'm saying? That's a real thing, dog. Like,
Yeah.
that's a real thing. Get
People
aggressive.
underestimate that.
No, get aggressive. Go to the
Eh,
cup. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
No, I
it's
mean, people really underestimate the power of seeing the basketball go in the basket.
and it's not just seeing it. It's actually getting there, relaxing, taking your time, and going through your shooting motion. Getting the
Yeah.
technical side of it going and like knocking some shit down, getting the flow. Like, cause you could be moving and it's like, damn, I done missed like 5 shots. Okay, dog, take it to the basket. Like, and again, like you said earlier, Chet Holmgren, get his ass in foul trouble, dog.
Yeah.
Attack him. You have to. Like Rudy Gobert. I mean, what did he have in 30 minutes? What did he play? How many minutes? Rudy Gobert played
While you talking, I'll look it up. Rudy Gobert played 29 minutes.
29 minutes.
29
I
minutes,
was gonna I was
45
gonna
seconds.
say 30. I was gonna say
Yeah.
30. He gave you 9 total rebounds, 5 points, 9 rebounds. Like,
4 offensive is good though. 4 offensive, that's 4 second chances that he's giving your team on the offensive end. I'm curious though. There needs to be a bobble stat. They need to
one
start
block,
keeping this. Yeah, but I
three blocks
some of
from
those
Jaden McDaniels.
I was gonna say something. It was gonna sound real crazy, so
Go
I'm gonna
ahead.
I'm gonna
What?
say, but Jaden McDaniels is a better defender than Rudy Gobert.
A former defensive player of the year,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I mean, it's crazy, but it's not crazy. If
Maybe a
you
more
know, you know.
well, look, maybe
No,
more
no,
versatility. No, for
no. He's a better
sure.
defender. No, right
Which
now
which
he's a
rolls
better
into
defender.
like he can guard the perimeter, he can block
Yeah,
shots, he can rebound. So like all that goes into it. So I'm not, well, let's say he's playing better defense now. Um
yeah. He's a better
Gobert,
defender right now.
yeah, Gobert is like that. Like I say, that game against the Lakers was just a flash in the pan, dog. Like they need some some semblance of that, something like their bigs, dog. They got to do something. They
They
got to do
do.
something.
And I'm sitting here trying to figure out what it is. Yeah, Julius Randle has to score inside more.
Right.
I do agree with you. He's got to get down in the paint, and we got to stop shooting so many threes. I think Edwards was one. He was 1 for 9 today.
Yeah.
Like
1 for 9.
1 for 9. Nas Reed 0 for 5. Julius Randle 2 for 11 from the field. You're not gonna win like that.
Right.
You're not gonna win at all like that. So you know what? Strap up your big boy, put up your big boy pants, and you know what? Attack the basket. Get
Well,
to the rim.
yeah.
Get to the free throw line. As you continue to attack and you put a shoulder in that defender and you're physical, they're going to start backing up. And
Mhm.
when they're backing up, you'll get a more uncontested 3-point shot in a better rhythm than you will just trying to catch and live and die off the three early in the game.
Man, outside of threes, Anthony Edwards was 64%. 64% from the field.
And he
11,
took a he
11 out of 17.
and some of those shots that he made were tough.
He made him.
Yeah,
You
I
know what
know.
I'm saying? Like he made him.
Yeah.
Like go.
Last like No, go ahead.
No, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Last year, Anthony Edwards, I don't want to say I fell in love with Anthony Edwards. I fell in
Oh,
love with the thought. No, no,
you
no,
got
no.
the man
I'm talking
crush.
about no, pause. I'm talking about I fell in love with the thought of what what the NBA was going to look like in the future
Mm-hmm.
based on the way he was playing.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Edwards was killing
Mm-hmm.
in the mid post last year. Then he was off the dribble, fadeaways, stop and pop. Then he's extending the range, shooting the three, go by you, dunk on you. It was all of that he was giving you last year in the playoffs. And it's almost like he's abandoned everything that he did last playoffs. When
Um.
he put Phoenix out,
Mm-hmm.
um, uh, he was lights out. He was unstoppable. Then he put Denver out. Man, he was unreal. But now he's doing a lot of settling.
Yeah. I mean his shooting percentage is down from 48 to 44 for the season, from last season to this season. And I was thinking while you were saying that and saying he's settling, I'm like, well, is he taking more threes? Um.
Yeah,
n-
he
mm,
led the NBA in threes.
okay.
So he increased his 3-point shooting,
Hold on. Let's see.
and I think he shot 40% from three, but
46,
40%.
46. I'm sorry. He was 46% from the field. That dropped to 44. So and yes, he has increased the number of threes that he's attempted. So, and that's what I was saying when you say he was settling. That's what I was like. Let me look at it and see. And he attempted 532 last year. You want to take
Hmm.
a guess at how many he's attempted this year?
About 750.
811.
Okay.
So that's a huge jump. So you're basically changing the way you're
You
attacking.
play.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
way you're
yeah,
playing the D.
yeah.
Man, uh, yeah,
Which
that's
is
crazy.
why his overall shooting percentage went down because
Right.
you're taking more threes.
But and the thing is, if you're hovering around that 40% from three, which he's 39.5, right? So the percentage has increased, then people are gonna think, oh, that's a win, man. Like you
Yeah,
shooting.
that's the perception
Yep.
is that, oh man, yeah, he's a 3-point shooter. He
Yeah.
led the league and he shot 40%.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like once you start relying on that more, you fall into that mode. The same way Julius Randle, he was cooking in the beginning of the first game, knocking down
Yeah,
threes, had probably the best playoff game that he's had so far, at least from the start. And then you just start kind of relying on that, and that's just not gonna get it, man. Especially not in
no,
this series where you know, they're just gonna roll out different guys and they're basically doing what they want to do.
so there's the thing that I love. I don't really like it, but I love that about SGA winning the MVP is that SGA is showing everybody that the mid-range game is still alive.
He definitely was. Yes, he
Like,
was taking more, and he was more effective at it today. He was knocking them down,
oh,
and
he
he was
was.
and he was attacking the basket. So,
But I mean, over the course of the whole season, though, I mean, like
oh yeah,
he's the
yeah,
MVP. Analysts, not analysts, but analytics people that do analytics are trying to say that the mid-range shot is the worst shot in basketball. SGA just won the MVP as a mid-range assassin.
and
So
and
the mid-range is
how
going
many threes do you think he took in this game?
3.
2, and he
Yeah,
made 1. 12 for
yeah, he's
21 from the
50%.
field. Yep.
So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like the mid-range is still alive, man. No matter, what people want to say. And again, the the fact that Anthony Edwards has abandoned the mid-range for the 3 is like, come on, Ant. You're so much better than that.
Yeah. You know,
I don't
uh, it,
oh,
but
oh, so-
but SGA has also increased the clip that he's shooting threes at too. He's shooting them more.
but he don't
Um,
shoot it well.
269,
That's
269
what he shot
attempt.
this year? This year?
Yeah,
That's
and
still
no,
relatively
no. That's
what?
it went up from 269 to 435.
Okay. That's
So I mean,
still relatively low at his position as a starting.
considering the amount that he shot, we
Yes,
almost 200 more attempts, but um I mean he's still shooting over 50% from the field.
I beg you, do me a favor. Highlight this dude Ubong's comment. So, and this is pertaining to me saying that SGA, even though he won the MVP, and so what I mean by that, Bong, is I don't believe that he deserved to win the MVP, but since he got the MVP, I'm glad it makes a case for the mid range game where everyone is trying to discredit the mid range and say it's old, it's outdated, you can't do it, it's either a layup or a 3-pointer. SGA is showing us that you can still have success taking the mid-range shot. So that's why I don't really like it, but I love it.
Al Sucks at Mock Draft says Ant's threes also aren't falling at the same clip they were in the regular season, but he's not seeing the same coverages and defensive styles that he was seeing against worse teams. Which is why you need to do what we were saying. Al Sucks at Mock Drafts. Attack the basket. Get him off balance. Attack the basket, get him off balance, get to the free throw line, then shoot some threes in there. Like, mix it up. Just relying on that, and you're not knocking them down. Like, I don't know. Hey, Scotty boy, you've been on Anthony Edwards' head all day because I saw you in the Discord talking that stuff.
Scotty Boy lost that money.
But Edwards, I mean, listen, from three, yes, not wasn't doing well from three. But did he have a bad game? Like,
it was, I'm not gonna say it was bad. I say it was misleading. Because again, he had 8 points in the fourth quarter, but the game was out of reach. It wasn't like, oh, he's bringing them back. So that it was kind of stat padding, man. It's kind of stat padding.
what do
So
you
he finished.
what
He
do you want?
finished with
What should
what?
he do if the coach still puts you out there during that time? What
You
are
got
you
to
gonna do?
deliver.
Yeah,
You got
I
to
mean,
deliver.
he aside from that, he had 24 other points from the 8 that you're talking about. Which is better than the 18 he had. He can't be going for 18.
No,
To
he
beat
can't.
OKC, dog, you got to be knocking on 30's door pretty much every night in this series. Knock, knock, knocking on 30's door. Like, man. Oh, okay. Eugene Chris. This is the first time I'm seeing Eugene Chris. Welcome. Shout out to you. Appreciate you tapping in, man. Hopefully we can get you to subscribe and rock with us. Hopefully this won't be the last time we see you. He said SGA outplayed Ant. You know what, Eugene? Before this game started tonight, I saw an old clip of Stephen A, or as Bong likes to call him, Screaming A Smith, walking in the tunnel with Anthony Edwards. I don't know what game it was or, exactly when, but he was asking him about like LeBron and those guys passing the torch down to the next generation. And then
Mm-hmm.
he named himself, SGA, and I think Luka Doncic. Or it was either he said that or Stephen A. Smith said that. But then he asked him where he thought he stacked up against those guys. And he said, I feel I'm the best player. I feel I'm a better player.
Mm.
So now it's time to show that shit. Because
Yeah.
SGA is, whether you don't like his foul baiting, you're not impressed with his mid range or whatever, you don't think he should have got the MVP. Listen, he's going at these motherfuckers, and they need to try to stop him because right now he's proof. If you're talking about the stars or the superstars in this game, he's the one who's coming through for his squad. So I can't necessarily. I don't disagree with this. SG, do you, KP? SGA outplayed Anthony Edwards?
I mean, he did, but I mean, yeah, that's no debate. It's not hard to tell.
Right.
Yeah, like, but SGA's supporting cast has also played better than Anthony Edwards' supporting cast. So, um, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, but you already know, especially if you know, talking that shit, you got to be ready to back it up. So if you telling somebody I'm the best player out of these guys, then it's time for you to show it. You got to show it because these
Yeah.
people, these players look at that shit, man. All this social media and all this stuff. Like these guys are young. They looking at all of this shit. All that. I don't look at the newspaper clippings and all of that shit. Those motherfuckers back in the day was
Lies.
lying anyway. Right. But
Lies.
now it's right in your face. Like every time you turn around, you're gonna see a highlight or you're gonna see what somebody said here. Like you're not saying anything behind closed doors. Like it's gonna get to the league. So if you proclaiming yourself to be that guy, it's time to back it up. Let's see.
Absolutely.
Engineer. I've been watching the games in the background, but it feels like Ant hasn't taken over a game. Like he gets points, but not taking over. I don't know.
No, he had one game where he took over against the Golden State Warriors in that series. He had a heck of a second half. Hey, what's good?
Hold,
Bong in the
hold on,
building.
hold on, hold on.
What up? Yes, sir.
So yeah, I agree with what you're saying, engineer.
Top of the
Eugene
top,
said,
top of the top.
Eugene says Ant needs to play with more aggression and smart. Plus, his team got to step up too. Yeah, Eugene, we were talking. I don't know exactly when you jumped on, but we were talking about Edwards has to go to the basket more, man, and just kind of put some pressure on not only the person who's guarding him on the perimeter, but the bigs in the paint and the
Oh, I
rest.
was
I
saying
mean,
the
the
refs.
the
Yeah,
rest to make the call on the bigs in the paint. Like he has to attack
yeah.
Holmgren and has to attack Hartenstein. Um, because right now the rebounds are even. I don't know who got 41 and 42. It's but those were the totals, I think, total rebounds. And it might have been, was it OKC who got more total? I have to double check that.
Hey,
Yes. OKC
OKC
got
got more.
42.
Yeah, 42 to
Yeah.
41, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like you're not really controlling the boards. You're not really putting pressure on the defense. So a lot of possessions, if you just shooting up a three, it's gonna be one possession back to the other side. How you gonna cut into a lead that way?
hey.
And you're turning the ball over more.
Y'all remember that old Dave Chappelle skit? And Edwards is asking, y'all got any more of them Asian superstars? Hey, listen, man. It's different when you got to play these young dudes. They got them young legs. You know what I'm saying? His claim to fame is knocking off old dudes. LeBron. What they said that he grabbed another Infinity Stone, knocking off a Draymond led team. If that means something, I mean, eventually, shit, man, you're gonna have to play. You going hey, if you want to be a superstar, if you want to be the face of the league, if you want to be the face of the league, you got to take on a great team and whoop their ass,
Yeah, and
right?
I
So,
and
and
I
I think,
saw I saw them trying to add Curry and Golden State to that
yeah.
list. Like, no, no, no,
Don't
no,
do,
no,
do that.
no.
Don't do
Yeah,
that.
Curry wasn't playing, homie.
Remember, I
Like,
told you that the day after they beat Golden State, they had like the little meme with the Infinity Stones, and they had
yeah, we
Draymond
gonna
on
get
there,
the
like, man.
fuck out of here.
But I think for a lot of people, um, the Lakers were the fool's gold. It made Minnesota look much better than they were, um, because ever since that, if you think about it, ever since that Lakers series, a lot of the role players have come back down to earth. Only people that have been consistently playing at a high level since the Lakers series is Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle. Um, and we talked about it. Funny enough, we mentioned it that I don't know if it was KP, I don't know if it was UDP or KP that was saying that Draymond, that Julius Randle was tough enough to kind of negate the advantage that Draymond had. This is before the series even started, right? Because we talked about like, hey
Oh,
man,
that was big.
Draymond gonna come in there, ready to punk Rudy Gobert, do some little goofy shit, and really try and muck the game up or whatever. And Julius Randle basically quieted him with skill. Like, okay, you want to do that goofy shit? I'm gonna drop 30 on you, and then the goofy shit really looks goofy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna get in my head. You can get in Gobert's head, but I'm still gonna give you 30, and Edwards gonna give you 30.
Gobert's in his own head.
Yeah,
He can get on Gobert's neck.
we've seen him do it, right?
Seen that
We've seen him
before.
do
Yeah, yeah.
Draymond don't give a damn, boy.
Absolutely.
That boy crazy as hell. But now you're playing a team that like you said, you talked about Boston shit. Indiana, they run deep just like Indiana. You know what I'm saying? Where they can roll out multiple lineups. I think I questioned coaching for OKC if that was the weak link in
when they did the foul shit.
Yeah. If that was the weak link, into as far as like what was holding them back from making a championship run. I mean, they kind of cleaned that.
Or you could just see them learning in real time, like, nigga, we cannot
building
be
the
doing
plane,
that kind of shit.
as we fly, right? Building the plane as we fly. But I mean, 2 games into the series, man, they look like the dominant team, and I don't know. Maybe you go back to Minnesota and the home crowd and the role players, being home and playing in their bed or sleeping in their beds at night gives them that feeling. And you steal a game. It's funny to say you steal a game at home, right? You know what I'm saying? To at least not get swept. But man, if OKC is going to be rolling like this, I don't see where they can get one. It's going to take a 50-point outing from Ant Edwards for Minnesota to have a chance.
I just think it takes him and Julius Randle playing, both having good games.
Yeah.
Like, because what did Randle have today? Like
6?
Yeah, 6 points.
Yeah, 6 points.
They didn't have 50 points combined.
Yeah.
Like, that can't happen. That cannot happen at this point. In the playoffs, in the Western Conference Finals, you trying to go to the finals? Come on. You can't. That can't happen.
Playoffs?
You talking about playoffs?
I mean,
yes, sir.
And what's his name? Mike Conley was terrible as well.
Yeah,
and I know that Mike
but
Conley
are you
was an elder
expecting?
statesman.
Hold on, come on, man. Yeah,
No.
what are we expecting from Mike Conley?
Listen,
they need him.
They need him.
But I feel you.
Yeah,
Bong.
you still can't be 1 for 6 from the field with 3 points.
But
you still got to give a little bit
he's
more.
Playing 28 minutes though.
But again, what you get from Mike Conley is the bonus, right? So if you get 15 from Mike Conley, great, that's a bonus. But it should not be, hey man, we need that 15, man. Where's that 15?
Oh no, I'm not saying 15, but I'll say 8 to 10.
Hey, but Kevin, you always like to talk, or KP, you always like to talk about plus minus. Did you check Conley's out?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, okay.
Very misleading.
Okay. Well, I don't want to hear you say nothing else but no plus minus.
Hey, man, very misleading. Very misleading. He was a plus 14.
FYF, you a fool. He said Mike Conley might as well come and join his 35 plus pro am team. We need a PG. Hey, by the way, man, FYF, I tapped in earlier, man. I was listening to your MVP discussion, man. That was a clean discussion. E. Gibson. That's a new
E. Gibson.
New comment, huh?
Welcome, E. Gibson. Shout out to you. Appreciate you stopping on by. Don't let this be the last time. Hopefully we get you to subscribe, man. E. Gibson says, I think it comes down to the energy level T-Wolves come out at home, but I think OKC sweeps or wins in fives. Um, hey man, we mentioned that a little while ago, and KP said one thing that he said was he didn't factor in the emotions in the building in OKC behind SGA getting his MVP and all of that stuff. Chris Paul rubbing elbows with his wife, and he talked about how close he is with Chris Paul, so that support was there as well. So the crowd behind them could be the same thing. Like I say, maybe the emotions help Minnesota at the crib.
Yeah, you can typically when they award the MVP, that team typically wins that following game. Like whoever gets awarded that MVP, their team typically wins the following game. Like so, it's definitely something that can carry a team for one game, but
Yeah.
um,
Just like the ring ceremony hurts the team.
right, too many distractions, too much
Oh
bling.
man,
Yeah. Whoever getting that ring, man,
we
bet
did it.
against them. Yeah, nah, you get your ass whooped first game of the season.
Hey, so FYF, I want to. Well, do you guys have anything else to say about E. Gibson's comment?
I agree
Yeah,
wholeheartedly. You know what I'm saying? Like the energy, but the energy is up to the fans to kind of help them bring that energy. I don't know if Minnesota is that type of team. Like the last time I
yeah, I
saw
agree with that point. The fans, they
the
need that.
last time I saw a Minnesota team that had that type of energy, it was KG's Minnesota.
2003
Okay, I was gonna say,
against the
would that be
Lakers
the
in the
one
Western
where
Conference Finals
I was gonna
with
say, would
Troy
that be the one
Hudson.
where he had to come back and check all the young niggas who was on their phones in the locker room, or
That's
No.
hey, remember this
We talking about Troy Hudson
yeah,
when
this
Shaq was in that drop coverage, and it
hey,
was in
this
the Western Conference Finals.
this is back when KG would say some shit like there was his MVP season actually. Oh man, we got to bring out some Uzis, a couple blocks, a couple
oh,
ARs.
this is back when he was telling dudes that they wives smelled like Cheerios or honey nut.
No,
Exactly. I mean, not
no.
Cheerio.
He said that in Boston.
Yeah,
That was later on. That was later on, man.
that was the elder statesman KG
Uh,
telling niggas they wives smell like honey nut Cheerios
hey,
or cinnamon
I
Cheerios.
think Melo is still hot about that.
Oh yeah. Oh, as he
I
should.
don't know if if
Listen.
y'all seen him recanting the story or recalling the story on his show.
Look, hey man, Kevin said he didn't say it, man.
Okay, well,
Come on, man.
okay. I'm just telling you, there's different accounts then, because if you
Yeah.
check out
There's
what
definitely an account that says that he said it.
yeah. What is Carmelo's joint? The 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. That's the podcast, right?
Him with
No,
is it with DeSeuss or
Yeah,
Mero?
yeah. With
Okay.
Mero.
Mero. Okay. Yeah.
He was on there talking about it, and he sound like he recalls every moment that happened. I can tell you when this was done. We went to all that stuff like it was yesterday. So that nigga
Hey
wasn't
man,
feeling that.
plenty people have stories about KG. You know, Joakim
Oh
Noah.
yeah.
Joakim Noah talked about KG and how he was his favorite. He
oh
was his
yeah.
favorite player, and he was talking to him at the line.
Right.
On some mama
Yeah.
fan shit. And KG told some shit like, man, shut up, young nigga, or some crazy shit like that, or get the fuck up. Something. KG was crazy. When he was on the court, man, it was all emotion, man. But I don't know if we have that anymore. I don't know if we have that in the league anymore. Like it's a
I
different
mean,
ball game, it's a different league. And again, I like to see, when him and Paul Pierce get together, Paul Pierce is crazy as hell. But when KG and Paul Pierce get together, those conversations are always really interesting conversations to hear it. You know what I'm saying? For some guys that really gave a fuck and really poured it all into the game, back in that 90s, early 2000s era.
yeah. I mean, Kevin Garnett is still leading the league in shot blocks after the whistle. Nobody has has blocked more shots to the rim.
Hey,
He started it.
that was a psychological thing too. Like,
Yeah, like
you ain't
he
got,
actually started that. Because I
yeah,
remember him saying, he was like, man, why am I gonna give you a free shot at the basket to work on your form and try to get in rhythm? No, I ain't doing that.
yeah,
And that's why he started blocking the shots.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like,
But FYF, just revisit this quickly and just ask you, um, Conley, not what he used to be, of course, but do you not think that he brings some kind of stability to the team? Like, especially with just kind of getting him settled, ball handling, and all that kind of stuff. Like, he's effective in spots. I mean, you're not expecting him to come out and drop like 15 or whatever consistently, but I think he could still bring something to the table for them.
8 to 10.
Yeah.
And more stability at the point guard spot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like ball handling, like pause. But yeah, like
Yeah.
without him, who's look at their roster. Without him, who's really gonna run you
It's
through the offense?
it's
DiVincenzo?
DiVincenzo and then Nikhil Alexander Walker. It's those two. But FYF is just saying that, man, because he played against Conley. Him and Conley the same age. So that's why Conley go to a 35 and over pro-am. Conley liable to get 50.
Conley looking like he 25 in that 35 and older joint.
Hey man,
Yeah, Conley
look.
with
The
Hey,
pre-contract sign with
hey,
oh,
funny thing. I was tapped. I was tapped into FYF's live earlier, and he was, I guess, going back and forth with some of his subscribers or whatever. He was telling these dudes, he's talking about the triple double and how they're trying to devalue the triple double or whatever for Jokic, same way he did with Russ. And he was like, I could put some of y'all in a league in a 13U
a
or a
13-year.
15U,
Yeah.
and y'all motherfuckers couldn't average a triple double. I said,
oh wow. Hey, we gonna have to let me call my boy Conley. Hey, hold on 1 second, y'all. See, FYF, you don't know we got connections. I'll be right back. Nah, I'm playing.
oh
Okay.
shit. Oh, he
I'm,
Um,
said,
I'm, I'm gonna
Conley is
investigate this
barbecue
FYF.
chicken.
so
Barbecue
he
chicken.
says these young dudes look at him like food. OKC even has a play called Food where they target him. They need to bench him and just play fast.
When they play fast, they don't always play smart. That's the problem. You need someone that's gonna play smart because you have DiVincenzo trying to give the ball to Rudy Gobert in positions where you would think Rudy Gobert is going to go up, and he doesn't go up. He does something to end up on Shaqtin' a Fool. You got Julius Randle. Y'all saw the play. You got Julius Randle, who isn't playing smart right now. So you need that old guy that's going to provide stability and put people in the right spots and dictate who's going to attack and who shouldn't attack.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, pick your moments where you know you need to have it. Run a set or something. Settle some stuff down. Like Conley can do that. Conley can push the pace too. I mean, listen, FYF, you know this because you hooped. You don't have to be super fast to push the pace
Yeah,
and
it's
play
about
fast.
savvy.
And he, run the wings, kick the ball up. Don't hold it. You don't have to dribble it up the court every time. Like, make the right pass. Like, you could get shit moving in motion. Like Conley is smart enough to get it going. I get you. And I know when we talk about food, we speaking defensively. So maybe on that side, it's more of a liability that we're talking about. But
Isn't food right now
but
besides
yeah.
besides Jaden McDaniels.
But
Who
that's
isn't food?
but that's because they're running off
Yeah.
of missed shots and turnovers and missed
those
shots.
long shots. Yeah, those
Yeah,
long missed
which
Hey,
might
shots
as well be
that turn
considered
into
a turnover.
the
and
fast break
Right,
starters.
and
right. The
I'll
first
say
the pass from Minnesota to OKC.
and I'll say
Right.
this. I was again. I told you, I'm not fucking with Minnesota. I'm not fucking with Ant because of what they did to the Lakers, right? But I would be lying if I didn't say that Rudy Gobert, for all the flack he gets, he changed the outcomes of a lot of those games in the Lakers series and in the Golden State series. There were times where he's, in the first round with Austin Reeves, with even maybe not LeBron, but with Luka, like those shots, they're in the paint and Rudy Gobert flashes and the motherfucker got to rethink shit. And he did that shit to Jimmy Butler in the last series as well. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know we give him a lot of flack. For his offensive woes, but what he does on the defensive end, it won't show. It's not showing this series because they have some 7-footers that can basically, hey man, if you're scared to take it to the paint, just drop it off to me and I can equalize it because Chet is the same shit. Is Chet taller than him or they the same height?
No, I think Chet is shorter. I think Chet is 7'1". I think Rudy Gobert is really like 7'4".
Okay.
Yeah.
But tall enough, long wingspan. I mean, like he can go in there and really challenge Gobert offensively. Whereas, if you think about in that Lakers series, you think about it in the Warriors series, who did either team have a 7-footer?
The Lakers did. They elected not to play him.
Okay, so they didn't because they didn't play
Yeah.
his ass, rookie ass coach. But you have no 7 feet. You have no 7-footers and Gobert in the paint, basically patrolling that motherfucker.
Rudy Gobert is looking like he just
Booty
sitting thinking,
Gobert.
hey, I don't know if those reports are true about him and his BM or his
Kicking her
girlfriend.
out.
Yeah, but he's sitting there like, that Sir song, All in My Head. All in my head. Like he's scratching his head on the side in the other game. Like he just seemed like he ain't focused. Like
I thought you was talking about Jay-Z Do It Again because she's pregnant, right? 6 a.m. I be digging her out. 6:15 I be kicking her out. Yeah.
Man, it's hey, just to the point that Bong is saying, like he was effective and making a difference before, and now just it's like, what's the deal, dog?
He was effective against small ball.
So you think it's the fact that OKC has similar like guys, similar stature, like Biggs, Hartenstein, Chet, like they can kind of, or
not just similar.
Chet's got the bones rattling, but he's still got some height. You know what I'm saying?
Not just similar stature, but versatile.
Okay.
Because Chet can damage you from the outside and pull Rudy Gobert away from the basket to where he's really uncomfortable on the perimeter. And then Hartenstein has that floater to where he's able to float over Chet.
Hey,
I mean, not Chet, Gobert.
The lefty
until it's overtime.
Yeah.
Until all through regulation, he ain't missing. You get to overtime, he's airballing. He's shooting them too hard or too soft.
Hardenstein said, "Put some respect on his name."
Yeah, but I just want to say that about
the whitest black dude you ever seen.
Absolutely.
I just want to say that about Gobert though.
JJ Redick was coaching like he was using NBA 2K play recommendations when you're losing. So that's a response to what you were saying about that Laker situation. But
yeah, no. You know how I feel about JJ. He coached like a rookie. So,
they really asked him.
You don't think
coach your coaches?
Y'all don't think JJ Redick had a solid first season as a head coach?
He did.
As Laker fans? Okay, because I was about to say, like, stepping into that situation.
No, he did. He did. No, KP, don't diminish what he did. The Lakers look
He did better
No,
than what I thought he was going to do for sure.
I was gonna
Go ahead,
say that.
KP.
No, I was gonna say that there was a point in the season that I was really, really excited about going into the playoffs, and I was comparing him to some of the other first-year coaches that the Lakers have had. Not first-year coaches ever, but just coaches in their first year with the Lakers. And I'm like,
I remember.
it's
I
Phil,
remember
it,
this.
it's
I
Phil
remember.
I remember
Jackson,
that
championship.
bullshit.
Frank Vogel, championship. Pat Riley, champion. These were all the things I was thinking, and
Optimism.
it just didn't happen. And we got bounced in the first round. So, it's forced me to reassess
And I'm
my
and
thoughts.
Look at what engineer said.
I see that.
He said, "I
And,
think
and, and
that's
honestly,
often referred to as delusion."
and honestly, that's part of me reassessing my thoughts. Like, man, was I tripping?
but no,
And
you
and
weren't.
now I'm going back and I'm asking myself,
It was by design. We knew that the Lakers were going to have to put up points in order to beat teams in the playoffs. It was not going to be a defensive. It's not going to be a games under 100 points. What I'll say is this: Rudy Gobert. I'll go back to Rudy Gobert. He took away everything in the paint. The Lakers had to rely on the three. It's a make or miss league, and they chose the worst time to not be hitting the threes. But Goody,
Goody, Goody Robert.
Rudy,
no.
but, but Rudy Gobert, let's give him credit. He manned the paint and he rerouted a lot of easy layups that Luka would normally make. He rerouted LeBron a few times. He blocked LeBron a few times. Like his presence in the paint really affected the Lakers game. Remember, the mirror. You just talk. Hold on. Let me just say this one thing. You just talked about how SGA brought back the mid range. The Lakers wasn't a mid range shooting team. It was layups or threes. Rudy Gobert effectively said there will be no layups. You guys will have to beat us from the outside, and they couldn't beat him from the outside. So again, we're gonna talk shit about Rudy Gobert whenever he looks bad offensively, but that motherfucker made a difference in both the Lakers series, and I saw him reroute Jimmy Butler ass many a times.
Yeah, but he ain't doing that shit in this
I
series.
know what I'm saying is because we had kind of ventured off to saying like, oh, the Lakers were a disappointment. No, they ran into somebody that could negate half of their game plan. Like Rudy Gobert's in the middle, all the layups that Austin Reeves normally gets, Luka normally gets, LeBron normally gets. They're relegated to shooting threes because Rudy Gobert is basically rerouting their ass. Even though they weren't all blocks, they were getting rerouted.
But
Bong,
I was just saying in this game, because earlier I had pointed out, I think it was Alpsucks and Mox Drafts was saying get DiVincenzo out of there, but Rudy Gobert ain't even sprinting back on defense. Like you throwing lobs to Chet Holmgren and he looking at him, and DiVincenzo is the one that's trying to challenge him. Like,
Yeah.
Gobert, what are you doing? They not giving you the ball on offense.
Hey, DP, you just said he going through some things, man.
Hey, and I like to keep it basketball and sports, man. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't know him personally, man. So
change his name to Go There.
But
Go there. Rudy, go there.
Hey, you was about to say something, though, KP. What was you about to say earlier?
So, because when you talked about the JJ Redick, right? And I know we kind of off subject, but I just wanted to say this thought again. As Laker fans,
sweating like a pastor. Break out that cloth.
A Southern pastor, Deep South.
We've never celebrated the first round of the playoffs. We've never celebrated losing the first round of the playoffs. We've never celebrated getting to the second round of the playoffs. So, in that respect, I'm not looking at it like JJ did a good job because you talked about
Yes,
Rudy
you did.
Gobert. You talked about Rudy Gobert and him taking away the different options. Like the mid range is dead, the layups are dead. You're gonna have to shoot the three. Part of the coaching is in the playoffs when you have to make the adjustments when your plan A and your plan B aren't working. You got to go to C and D. And his C and D were I'm going to play my starters the whole second half. And then in the next game, when that didn't work, I'm going to not play the only 7-footer I have. And I'm gonna go away from him and I'm gonna bring in Max Kleber, who hasn't played since Black History Month. And it's like
Hey,
those things in itself just kind of showed the inexperience
yeah,
and put
he
the Lakers in a really, really tough position to
absolutely he's
compete and win the series.
inexperienced. He was just doing a
Who
podcast. He was just doing a podcast with LeBron.
I have to ask y'all, who did y'all want him to play off of that bench that y'all thought would have been the alternative to lead them to a victory?
No, I didn't.
Um,
Go ahead.
so
Or give them a rest that's needed and still be effective? Or who were they going to go to off of that Laker bench?
shit, I'm trying to think of the 7-footer's name. I can't even think of his name right now.
Jackson
I done
Hayes.
drew a blank. You got to play Jackson Hayes some. Jackson Hayes at least gives you a lob threat out of the pick and roll.
You ain't
You
subbing Jackson Hayes in for LeBron or Luka. So
let him,
who?
let him, let him. So, but here's the thing: you can sub him in for him. Let LeBron rest 2 minutes. Let Luka rest 2 minutes. That's four
Yeah, and,
minutes.
and that's what I
You
was
can.
going to say, KP. It wasn't even who you substitute them in for. You can't run your aging star and your out of shape star for 24 straight minutes.
Yes. So who do you bring in? It is who you
Anybody,
bring in.
Jackson
anybody.
Hayes.
Who?
No.
No,
Jackson Hayes. You bring in Jackson Hayes because at least when you play pick and roll, you have a lob threat. At least you have
So
that.
so you
And
sub
that
you sub Jackson Hayes in for either LeBron or Luka.
or it's Dorian Finney-Smith. You can sub him in for him. You could just rotate the
No,
other
no, no. You
guys
no, you
around him.
have to no. As Bong is saying, you got to take if you're rotating,
Yeah,
you got
so
to take
yeah, so
LeBron.
take
So I'm not talking about Finney Smith. Not subbing him in for Finney Smith doesn't solve your dilemma of keeping LeBron and
oh yeah,
Luka
you
in.
take LeBron out, but I'm saying
Okay, so
you
that's what
take
I'm
him out
saying.
for a 2 minute span. And you see how that 2 minutes goes. And then you bring him back in and then you take Luca out for 2 minutes and then you see how that goes.
Scotty Boy
And
says Dalton Connect. Do you guys think he should have given him more of an opportunity?
no, not in this situation. I would say go with Vincent.
And FYF is saying
Go
that
with
just
Gabe
play
Vincent a
Hayes.
little bit more. Yeah, but you could play Gabe Vincent because Gabe Vincent's gonna give you some hustle, and Gabe Vincent has been in this position before with Miami. He's gonna hit some shots. So that's it. Play those two. But Dalton's got to sit.
Okay. I'm just wondering. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just wondering because everybody says, yeah, he shouldn't have played him. But I'm like, what do you do with your bench then? How do you play? KP. You remember well, Willie West at Crenshaw.
Mm-hmm.
He would look at the end of the bench at dudes, and if dudes wasn't looking like they was ready, you ain't going in. So it could have been he looking at the end of the bench and everybody is just like
You got to stare him in his
put
eyes and
me
keep
in.
holding
Right.
his face.
right.
you got to damn near be having a piercing look at the coach.
Right, like
oh
looking
yeah,
dead
he's
in his
intense.
eyes, like,
Oh yeah,
hey,
yeah,
hey, hey,
get him
look,
in
look,
there.
look. Even if it's just like, man, just get your ass in there. Go ahead, like something.
Yeah.
Even if he's looking like, all right, man, go ahead, something.
He tried
Like,
to look at the coaches like, damn, you see the way he was looking? Shit. Get in there, get your ass scored on like, man, this mother
sit
wasn't
his
even ready.
ass
Man.
down.
Oh, get his yeah.
Oh
Want to
man.
throw your ass under the bench.
Hey, but Alf Sucks at Mock Draft says, I feel like the sharpshooting of Connect is valuable enough to warrant him getting at least a few minutes.
There were rotations that could have been made where LeBron sits, Luka sits, just to get some rest and Connect. Jackson Hayes, what's Vanderbilt could have gotten. Well, Vanderbilt was in the rotation, but like there were moves that could have been
Vando.
made. There were moves that could have been made, and JJ decided to be a stubborn coach, and that's like the opposite of the young coach. These young coaches are typically more open to advice, more open to making changes, but he was trying to be, stubborn and just stick to his guns like a Popovich or like one of these other guys. But those guys will also make big time coaching changes that change the outcomes of series. And yeah, and I just don't think Reddick was really put himself in a good position to have success. But again, let that not take away from the fact that the Lakers, they did well this season. The Luka trade, KP, you talk about it. It was supposed to be a two-part trade. The center that was supposed to come with him never came.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows what the outcome is if we do if we do complete that trade, or that trade doesn't get rescinded due to a failed physical or some findings in his medical history that the Lakers were not comfortable with. So
Second round exit.
we don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't.
I don't know. I really don't know. But again, Anthony Edwards collects another Infinity Stone. Knocking off LeBron, whatever that's worth. I know LeBron is in the twilight of his NBA career. He don't have that same fight that he would have had maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, 9 years ago when he was chopping down Boston.
How about 2 days ago? He may
Oh.
not have had the same fight 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Because once LeBron played the whole second half, he was cooked for the rest of the series.
That did him in.
He was cooked. It was over. Like, damn. I knew it was bad when he was hustling on the defensive end and getting blocks on the defensive end and couldn't give you anything on the offensive end. I said, oh man, yeah, he's cooked. This is a wrap. It's over.
So if the Lakers, if y'all think it was some changes that could have been made with the Lakers as far as coaching goes, what does Minnesota have to do as far as coaching goes?
Chris Fitch may have to fall down, mess up that knee, and that other coach take over, and they put Chris Fitch in the second row of seats.
Wow.
with the other assistants, and let him just kind of communicate with his back turned like he was doing last year.
Yeah, buddy. Damn.
And
it's
KP,
cold-hearted business.
Hey KP, your boy. Speaking of coaching, your boy Adelman got the job.
Took that intern off. That interim tag.
So we'll see.
You're not an interim.
I
thought he deserved it, man.
Somebody on Twitter said that he looks like the Mad TV logo.
That's what I was trying to. Okay, so that's what it is. Because I'm like, damn, is it him or was it what's the dude's name? Man, who does Rick Carlisle look like? Jim Carrey. I thought it was Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber.
Dumber and Dumberer. Yeah.
Hey,
I'm like, damn, does he look like? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. You got it. No, I was just saying he is really on this get DiVincenzo off the court.
I like DiVincenzo,
I
man.
do. I like DiVincenzo. I
I
like
like
DiVincenzo
DiVincenzo,
for them.
and
I
I
like
and I think
DiVincenzo for
that and I think I remember saying this like a year or two ago. I said DiVincenzo was probably a hell of a pickup basketball player, like in open run in the gym. I think that he's a beast in the gym. I really do.
Yeah, it's just I mean, what killed them is, again, like I was saying, I was talking about which FYF was not feeling Mike Conley, but DiVincenzo I think had led the team in turnovers. Um, Mike Conley only had one. I think DiVincenzo had four. Um, not the best night
That is
scoring.
correct.
Not the
Hmm.
best night scoring. I think DiVincenzo needs he needs to be a consistent third for Minnesota to truly reach their like full potential.
I go fourth
Mm,
because
who are you throwing? Nas Reed?
no. The consistent third, you got Jaden McDaniels
Oh,
is third.
McDaniels. I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah,
correct myself. A consistent fourth. And I
yeah.
would go with him over Nas Reed because he not saying that Nas Reed's not capable. I'm talking about the flow of the game being that DiVincenzo is somebody who's probably going to have the ball more. He's probably going to have it in his hands more. And if he which I believe that they were thinking that he would be a consistent like bench scorer, a scorer
Yeah,
off the bench. I think that's what they looked at him, thought they would have in him when he came over with Julius Randle. Um, and when you look at like that trade, I would say DiVincenzo is the one who could be the X factor,
I would agree
and he just
because he
hasn't.
could do it on both sides. He could do it on the defensive side and the offensive side. He's gonna hustle.
Yeah, got
And
to
it's funny.
consistently bring it though. Go ahead.
It's funny. I'm looking at these last couple comments. Engineer, it try to be funny because I mentioned that Cooper Flag third option. So so he's talking about Cooper Flag third option. Um, and with that, you know what I said? I don't think Cooper Flag is better than Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren is a third option for OKC. It's Shea, J Dub. Then I would say it's Chet Holmgren.
Yeah,
The three guys in the phone commercial.
Yeah,
right.
wearing the same outfit.
Yeah, I mean,
That shit's so lame.
yeah, I don't know. They got to make some adjustments for sure. They lose this, y'all are asking. I said they got to win this next game. They don't. It's a wrap.
And I know I posted something in the Discord saying that the viewership was the lowest viewed
Since
conference
2021.
conference final game since 2021, man.
Mm.
And I followed that up by saying the NBA needs New York and Minnesota to make the finals from a business standpoint.
Peep this though. Off the heels of the first game between the Pacers and the Knicks, how you think the views will look for game 2?
Oh yeah, through the roof, through the roof, through the roof.
What you think, KP?
Absolutely, it's through the roof. And my question: what's the most? So is the Knicks and Pacers the most exciting series?
Scotty Boy said, "Man, he forgot the nigga please before this, so I'll add it. Nigga please. Nobody want to watch them teams."
Right.
um, the more exciting one,
Hmm.
I would say, it's definitely right now. It's definitely we're only a game into the New York series, but already that first game was wild. So it's just got I think folks are more drawn to that one. I mean, plus they were already. We talk about storylines, right? They tried the cousin thing with SGA and what's his name, Alexander.
Alexander and Alexander.
Yeah, they tried the cousin tie, the family ties. I haven't
Yeah,
really seen them play on the Anthony Edwards versus SGA like too
they
much.
haven't. They
Right.
haven't.
So that's, I mean, what's the real storyline between those two teams? Because the Pacers and the Knicks have one. Whether you like it or not, they have history. So I mean,
There is-
Yeah, there's no history there. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's just two small market teams trying to make it over the hump.
hmm.
yeah. So they right now, Minnesota, they screaming, "Get up, Kane! Get up, Kane!" I heard you screaming, talking about "Get up, Kane!" Hey man,
Oh
get
shit.
up! Because right now, shit, it's looking dicey. It's looking
Hey.
dicey for AE, face of the league, Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
You know,
ain't looking it's looking shaky, baby.
yeah, man. Man, that's nuts. So, you know, it is what it is, man. Hopefully, New York plays. Are we in tomorrow yet?
Yeah, they played
New York
tonight.
plays tonight,
Yep.
right?
Hmm.
And we all know that this is a must win for New York, right?
Um,
Oh no, it's a must win because they go on the road. You can't lose the first two at home, then go on the road.
Especially after the way you lost the first one. But
I could roll with that.
the thing about it
Definitely.
is, the thing about it is how much emotion was drained out of New York based on that last game.
Or how much was drained out of the Pacers for rolling back. You know,
How much?
sometimes it seems like teams are like, we stole one, and then they take it easy and go back to the crib. Hopefully the Pacers don't do that. If they could win another one at MSG, I'll probably roll with that, Bong. I think New York would be donezo.
They showed that they're not trying to just go back with one win against Cleveland when they they took the second game as well in Cleveland. So I
But they
don't
were
think
out
that
they
any.
they just seem like they fall behind and then they claw back. Like if New York can find a way to like keep the separation, then yeah. I mean, they're built different than Cleveland. Um
Yeah,
it's just Cleveland just didn't scrap with Indiana. New York can scrap a bit. But what one thing I will add though is with Brunson,
hmm
uh he those passes that you were talking about, KP, could have easily been two turnovers, and
turnovers.
then that game is over. So they were
Yeah,
lucky to like not lose it in regulation, low key. So I don't know.
you're exactly right.
I fucks with what
You
Bong
know
said on that though.
the officials are gonna. I think the officials are gonna try to help New York out because there was a call that they missed that would have helped New York, and that is the block shot by Miles Turner that was actually a goaltend. So I think that they're gonna monitor the game a little bit and give New York some home cooking. I mean, heck, they were trying to give New York home cooking toward the end of the game anyway. So yeah, they don't want New York to go down 0-2. I'm talking about the refs, the media. They don't want to see that. It's been too much hype in New York, too much resurgence of, man, the Knicks are back. and now they're starting to believe that they have a shot at being NBA champs.
You know how we talk about fans getting fatigue of a team doing well, and how like Golden
Yeah.
State first they were the fun-loving underdog with the
Mhm.
light-skinned brother from the bank. New York.
Hey, what's his name?
What the fuck was his name, man? I think his name was something like Hakeem, the light-skinned brother from the bank. Oh shit!
Oh shit.
Nino Brown didn't give a fuck.
Oh.
He's the real head of the CMB.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
Hakeem, the light skinned brother from the bank. But so anyway, when Golden State was a fun loving team, and then a few years after they started winning, motherfuckers like, nah, we tired of these motherfuckers. We hate them. New York fans, everybody was rooting for New York because they were the underdog. They ain't been relevant as far as like playoff success in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as people jumped on board with New York fans hit us with a viral video throwing trash can juice
On their very own.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? At an Indiana fan, and it's like, yeah, New York fans. That's why the fuck we hate them.
Hey,
You know
look,
what I'm
Scotty Boy said. Hey, did y'all see John Halliburton in the bar like
saying?
doing this shit? He said, and then Alf Sucks at Mock's Drafts on the same wavelength with this says, would the NBA let John Halliburton into the finals if they made it just to get viewers? Y'all think he's
Front
back
row,
in the
baby.
building? They lift
Front
the
row.
ban? Okay.
Front row, baby. Hey, E. Gibson said,
Gibson. Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bong.
Indy has been a thorn in the New York Knicks side since for decades. 95, 2000, 2013, last season. Speak on it, man. Yeah, that is a rivalry, a real Eastern Conference rivalry back when you had Reggie Miller, Dale Davis, Detlef Shrimp.
Dallas Shrimp, who did he play for before that, baby?
The Sonics.
Supersonics. The Supersonics.
He was a beast, though. He was a beast.
Yeah.
Hey.
Dale Davis, Mark Jackson.
They were playing all those repeats, too. And they were playing that shit with, the missed layup with Patrick Ewing, back rim the layup. Like,
yeah, man. So,
hey, that Reggie Miller choke shit on Spike Lee, that was some of the illest shit, though.
And you know how I know? You know how I know that Halliburton had been practicing that shit in the mirror for 2 weeks? He got it exactly right. He had the he had the correct hand placement and everything. Like he had the hands the same way it was. It wasn't like he had the wrong hands. He had the hands exactly how Reggie Miller had that shit. That nigga had been practicing that shit for weeks.
And he can't pull it out no more, man, because it's
what Billy Hoyt say at training day? You've been setting me up all day. So I've been setting you up all week. Motherfucker, he been practicing that shit all week.
Oh shit.
Come on, baby.
The other thing that we didn't mention, why it was heartbreaking for New Yorkers when they lost. You know did you guys see the halftime show in the game one? It was Mary J. Blige. Mary J. Blige did a concert in Madison Square Garden during halftime of game one. So Shaq is hype. Like, I can't stop it. And then you had Kenny Smith going as well.
Oh no.
All for them to catch that beat down. So yeah.
And then after the game they was playing I'm Not Gonna Cry. I'm not gonna cry. It's
Crying.
not the time. We got another game after this.
I'm not gonna shed no tears.
Mary, come on.
I told you, man, I ain't checked the social media, the New York social media, but I told y'all last night it's gonna be some DVs. A lot of DVs. Getting the Big
Absolutely.
Apple.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey, engineer said we got tired of New York by Tuesday.
absolutely.
Niggas woke up like, huh? The what?
The New York
Ah.
Knicks fans are dirt bags, man. Dirt bags.
And
Dirt
yes, E.
bags.
Gibson, no series were battles
Yeah.
for sure. So and again, that's kind of the, like I say, that's the storyline or the history that they're playing off of in this series. So this one
Yeah.
has a little more, I don't know, a little more substance to it, I guess, where the other one is just like,
A
you
little
know,
more added hatred
yeah,
towards each other,
yeah,
especially with all those old Knick fans
still
that are sitting
there,
courtside that were part of the rivalries.
right,
Yeah.
right. So,
Yeah.
KP, you,
Man,
you got them ready?
yeah, man.
Okay, all right.
That must mean the last.
Whoa,
Hey,
you doing it too early? We ain't get a disclaimer yet, baby.
My bad. Go on, go on, go
Hey,
on.
so
Hey.
those of you who rock with us on a regular basis know what happens at this part of the show. I gotta ask if Scotty Boy is still in the building. Do you have that cha-ching change ready from that laundromat?
Get your
Hey,
EBT
hey, engineer say get the
ready.
EBT ready. So,
Hey.
Bong, can you hit us
Hey.
with the disclaimer, baby?
Yes. The thoughts and views of KP are his and his alone and do not represent the thoughts and views of 2Ps in the Bong. Please gamble responsibly. We do not have any sponsors.
And as you all know, KP's motto behind this is you can bet your bottom dollar, just don't bet the ones on top. KP.
So,
Hey, Bong. And then he don't do his
And then, right.
intro time.
come on, man.
little
Come
magic.
on, man.
There we go.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come
There
on.
we go.
Come on.
There we go. There we go.
Oh shit.
Everybody have a seat, man. Cross your legs, Indian style.
Little razzle
As
dazzle.
we go through this. So yesterday, man, we lost everything. We lost the house, the car, the kids. We kept the
And
dog.
the dog. Oh, we kept
Uh,
the dog.
we kept the dog. We went 2 for 8. That's
Woo!
25%. That's terrible.
Mm.
So we didn't do good. And see, engineer, I do tell my stats. So I didn't do good. And I
Hey.
was quick to say that I didn't do good yesterday.
Oh,
So
look. He said you showed your cards, baby. I see that spiral notebook. I see that wide line paper.
Yeah, yeah. That's the ones from yesterday. Yeah,
I see
yeah,
that
yeah,
wide line paper.
yeah.
Man, that ain't even
Yeah.
college rule.
Hey,
Nah. So
KP giving away his age. You know, the youngsters doing it off the phone.
Right.
nah,
KP
man.
like,
You know
hold
what?
on,
Let me
Nah,
man.
break out my notes and see.
Right.
nah. We got line paper here, man. I still homeschool, man. So yeah, and it's wide. My son's in elementary school, so
Yeah,
we still doing
I said
Yeah,
the
that
yeah.
wide
wide
rule
rule.
paper. Absolutely. I got
Absolutely.
an elementary school son, so yeah.
Man,
Uh,
college rule, nigga.
so you know what? Staying on some of the same themes from game one. Buy stock in TJ McConnell. I told you guys before, TJ McConnell, over 7 points. I like Miles McBride for over on the 4.5 points. I'm reluctantly going to say Obi Toppin for the 7.5. I wish it was 7, but it's 7.5. So, I'll go with that as well.
That's still
Cat
4
over.
buckets.
It is, but I like the whole number of 7 just in case he gets 3 buckets and a free throw. You can still push. Like this is either a win loss.
Yeah, I got you.
So for just in particular with Obi Toppin.
Yeah.
Cat over 23.5 points. I think he's gonna do that. Thomas Bryant over on the 6.5 PRA.
Oh.
Thomas Bryant.
Okay.
PRA, points, rebounds, assists, over 6.5. Jalen Brunson, over 30 points, because New York has to win. McConnell, over 1.5 rebounds. Cat, over 1.5 3-pointers. TJ McConnell, over 2.5 assists. Miles McBride, over 2.5 rebounds and assists combined. And Obi Toppin, over 4.5 rebounds and assists combined.
Hmm.
Those are the picks. I did stay away from Turner. Scotty Boy, the only way you take Turner is if you're doing him on if you go under on points in the second half. He always goes under. And as I say that, every time I bet the unders, I always lose. That's why I stopped betting the unders.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are my picks.
Okay. Engineer says KP, I ain't buying nothing after 2 for 8.
You know, I was 11 for 14 the day before, though, Engineer. So if you factor in those two together, I'm still batting pretty well from the field.
Okay.
Yeah. That 2 for 8 scared motherfuckers away. It was
Right.
like
You only as good as your latest performance, baby.
it was like that. It was like that game earlier in the playoffs where Draymond needed like 3 points or 4 points, and he ended the game with like 2 points. And I think Scotty Boy was like, "Man, fuck Draymond, I'm staying
Yeah,
away from you."
yeah.
Draymond comes out the next game and rattles off like the first 11 points. It's
Yeah.
like, this motherfucker.
Or, or
I needed this shit yesterday, nigga.
Orlando
Damn.
Penner.
Say that's the wrong day, man.
My fault, y'all. Orlando Penner, the Siakam over 18.5 points. I know that he went over last game. I just don't trust Siakam. He went over on points last game. I
Who's
just don't trust. I just don't
who's
trust
winning the
Siakam.
game? Who you got winning the game?
I'm gonna go New York.
Okay, hold on one second. Okay, we got
Shador
Shador's
Shador,
Samore.
huh?
some more. Welcome. And we appreciate you tapping in. Hopefully we can get you subscribed. Your question, explain to me how SGA isn't the best player in the world if he wins the title. He will have the MVP, Western Conference Finals MVP, and Finals MVP. That would be a good year. But does that make him the best player in the world? What you guys think?
Who wants to start?
I mean, I'll go with what KP said shit yesterday. I mean, this was a makeup award for them feeling they maybe snubbed him last year. But yeah, I mean, if he's the best player in the world, I don't see that with what Jokic is doing.
I
So
think it's a memorable stamp, a memorable year. But I'm not ready to say that this is best player of the world or best player in the world. Um, mm,
And so what I would say is the two of the
Shador had a
three.
follow up. Okay, you answering the follow up? Let DP put that up. Is that what you're answering?
No, I was
KP?
going. I was going to talk about the first one first. The first
mm-hmm.
thing he
The one that's
said.
up.
Yeah. So first and foremost, two of those are individual awards, but one of them that's an individual award is a result of you having the better team. Because in order to get the Finals MVP, your team has to win the championship. So I'll start by saying SGA isn't. I don't even think he had the best season this year in the NBA. I would go so far as to say that I'd say Nikola Jokic had the best season, individual season. And I mean, I could read off his stats again. Well, yeah, I'll read his stats off again. 29.6 points, that's third in scoring. 10.2 assists a game, that's second in assists. 12.7 rebounds, that's third in rebounds. 1.8 steals, that's second in steals. And he was number one in um, offensive efficiency. So those things. You look at SGA stats. SGA's part of the reason that SGA got the MVP is his team was they had the best record in terms of wins, and he also was the first Canadian in NBA history to lead the NBA in scoring. So, generally when you get the MVP award, you do something historic along with having the best team in the league in terms of record. So, there you go right there. That was kind of the smoking gun as to why SGA got the MVP this year. But I don't even think SGA had a better season than Giannis. Giannis averaged 30 points a game and shot over 60% from the field, which has never been done. So ultimately, it was two-man race. Now, as far as winning the championship, OKC, they have a whip, man. They got from top to bottom, they have the strongest team in the league. When they got Hartenstein in the offseason, one of the first things I said was OKC is the favorite to win because they got Hartenstein, and that allowed them to play with two bigs with Hartenstein, Chet Holmgren. They have a bruiser of a center with Hartenstein. They have the finesse center. So if they want to go small ball, put Chet at the 5, they could do that. If they want to go bully ball, you could put Hartenstein at the 5 and put Chet at the 4, which is something they haven't been able to do.
So is this all
So
you saying? All this to say he has the better supporting cast. So the last two
absolutely
MVPs, the Western Conference and the Finals MVP, that's something he
has to
can't
do
get
with
without the
his
supporting
team.
cast. Okay,
Exactly.
so a lot of this would just be a smokescreen in the sense of if you just look on the surface, basically. Okay,
Because his individual season during the season wasn't better than Jokic or Giannis. So
okay.
how does that make him the best player in the world?
He's adding that this is his third year in a row, averaging 30 on 50% shooting. This should be his second MVP. We actually talked about his shooting earlier, Shador, before you got on here. Um, and we were talking about how he's effective mid range, and we kind of broke down his 3-point shooting and all that kind of stuff. So when we talked about him shooting over 50% from the field, um, definitely shows he's getting it done. But again, even if your opinion is that he should have won last year, these are both still two debatable years of MVP where it's not really clear cut. So if you have a lot of people saying right now that even Jokic got snubbed, and if you would have given it to him last year, you would have had people saying Jokic got snubbed. Then there's it's debatable. It's up in the air. So is it really clear cut that he's the clear choice for MVP? Even this year that he just got it. I'll ask you that. Um,
And Shador, you can't compare like I mean I understand it's a series and stuff like that, but the MVP is supposed to be determined during the course of the regular season. So in a game 7 in the second round, that shouldn't even matter because it's the playoffs. It's not the regular season anymore.
yeah.
So
Also, keep in mind, OKC had the largest win margin in NBA history. So, regardless of what Shea did, that just goes to show you how tough his supporting cast was.
I think the series shows who's the best team, not who's the best player. I think the series shows who's the best team out of the two, and they just had a better team than Denver. Actually, I was surprised, and we on our show on our one of our shows before, I think it was I don't know if it's KP or Bong, but I think the consensus after whoever brought it up was that one of y'all said they overachieved, that Denver was an overachieving team this year, and it was UKP. Yeah. So
Yes.
Denver overachieved, but to me it was clear that OKC is the better team. OKC is the favorite to win the championship. So it just shows that they're actually doing what everybody thinks they're supposed to do. So I don't think it's who's the best player. I think it's who's the best team.
Yeah.
Who want to tackle this one? But how come Jokic was nowhere in Game 7 and SGA did his thing?
Well, I mean, he played. That was his 14th game. The man was tired. It wasn't that he didn't play well in the first half. He played well in the first half, and in the second half, he just burnt out. You For that series in 7 games, you had 3 different people guarding him and physically beating him up. And then in the last game, you didn't play Jalen Williams, that had been beating him up and being the aggressor. You then put Caruso and let Caruso beat up on him. So that's a fourth guy that started beating up on him. So you had that, and then Denver, there was no spacing with the floor because Denver had no shooting. All of their guys were cooked. Aaron Gordon, he had the hamstring situation.
Yeah, you have E.
Michael
Gibson.
Porter.
And E. Gibson is
had
speaking to some of this too right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, so he came in and he didn't have his weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And Jamal Murray was on that itis.
Yeah.
I guess he had that itis. He hadn't did anything since what, game 4, game 5, something
Yeah.
like that. He just didn't show up.
Yeah, man.
So what did he have?
Yeah, unfortunately, both the Timberwolves tonight and Denver in the last series needed to sub in Neesmith, but he plays for the Pacers, unfortunately for them. And just to go back to that game, we had Orlando. We'll address this before we get up out of here. Orlando says, was there an injury update to Cat? So back to that Nick Pacers series before we go. I don't think I didn't hear anything, but he does make a good point. That plus, the meltdown from game 1, Knicks fans will turn on them if it gets out of hand. All the pressure on the Knicks in game 2.
Super fact.
I agree with that. And then he said also, if the Thunder win, they are not trading for Giannis. I don't think they do it anyway.
What?
Yeah, I don't think they trade for Giannis.
They got Hartenstein. What do they need? They got Hartenstein. They got Chet. They don't have to trade for Giannis.
Yeah. Hey,
that's overkill.
Yeah, I don't. Shador, I'm gonna say this. Hey, click the link in our on our YouTube channel. First, make sure you subscribe. Click the link in our YouTube channel and make sure you get in that Discord, because a lot of the stuff that you're saying in here, I think is worthy for some discussion in the Discord. So go ahead and throw it in there, man. We stay active in there also. So we're gonna wrap it up right now, but we'll be looking for you, Shador, in that Discord.
Absolutely.
And we'll address some of this stuff that you're talking about right now. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah, appreciate you. So we'll be looking out for you. We talk back, as you can see. Appreciate you jumping in here. Engineer said video at 6 likes. Y'all growing.
You did.
Come on, and engineer, you cold. You didn't even like it, engineer. You hold
Yeah,
back the
man.
light, man. Come
Oh
on,
Yeah.
man.
man.
All right. Anything else y'all want to throw out there?
I just
Man,
want to thank everybody for tuning in and chatting and engaging with us and signing up for the Discord and talking in the Discord. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
ditto.
Okay. All right, man. Well, KP, you want to do
Take
your
us home.
balloon send off?
Yeah.
All right. 2 Peas in a bong, y'all. We out.
Peace.